This video is sponsored by Dragon City. Dragon City is free to play and available on both Android and iOS, but wait, also on Amazon and Windows. Collect over 1,000 different dragons and build your own Dragon City, so if you like city building, this game's for you. Breed 2 dragons to get new ones and feed them to evolve. You can also train dragons and take them into battle in order to make them more powerful. So if you guys like XP grinding, this game's pretty awesome for that. There are different PvP modes that let you fight against your friends and challenge other people on the game. There are several events every week to discover and play new adventures from, like Maze, Runner, Grind, and Heroic Race. My favorite is Runner. So many of your favorite other YouTubers other than myself, like Dream, play this game. Click the link in the description and get a special free reward, 15,000 food, 30,000 gold, and the rare Citadel Dragon. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and download Dragon City today. Use my link in the description below. Before the reboot vans came into Fortnite, there was a beta test. The test yielded an unusual result, a horror if you will. But still, Epic Games chose to release the reboot vans worldwide. They knew, and they still pushed for the reboot vans to be available in the next public update. This is the story of the beta test that led to the reboot vans, and the horrors they would later cause. Epic Games has a ton of beta testers. They can test something to normal scale with 100 beta testers, or to simple scale with just 10. However many they would like. When Apex Legends came out and they had a respawn mechanic in their Battle Royale, Epic Games thought that they could come up with something similar, so the Spawn satellite was born. After a few weeks of beta testing, it proved to be a waste of resources and time. It was back to the drawing board, and thus the reboot van was born. It seemed a lot more practical than a satellite, but before they could use it out in the public, they would have to do what they usually do, and beta test it. They would set up a sample beta test using Lucky Landing as the location and using a sample size of 10 beta testers. The whole area around Lucky was playable, so enough for 10 people in one reboot van. The point of the test was to test how well the respawns would work and how well they would affect the game as well as the endgame. They found the best 10 beta testers they could find, or in other words, the 10 working the shift that best suited the test. The testers were briefed on their job for the day. It would be duos, so 5 teams of 2. They all loaded into their test setups. Each team had a small room to add to the fact that no one would have these giant LAN parties in Fortnite. The point of beta tests was they needed to be as accurate to real life as possible. Everyone loaded into the test map. The map only had Lucky Landing as the main locations. The playable area was expanded to right before Fatal to the north, the bridge before the factories in the winter biome, and the gas station in the desert biome. That way the 5 teams had a decent playable area to make it seem like a real test of the real thing if they released it to the public. The first test yielded nothing. The second test, nothing. Just people mad that they came in second on a beta test. But the third and final test, that was scary. They jumped as normal, played as normal, but everyone had lost a teammate. That's right, it was a pure 1v1 throughout the board. Everyone had their teammates' reboot cards. In a real game, when 5 people rush a reboot van, they're all going to fight and pick each other off. But these people, they were all friends, they all knew each other. Heck, they were all just in different rooms. The 5 ran to the reboot van. The first person rebooted, then the next, and the next. Understand, in this beta test, there wasn't a wait time on reboots in between. Everyone was rebooted. The teammates who did the rebooting were trying to talk to their teammates. After all, they were sitting right next to them. They noted that they were pale and cold. They seemed unconscious, almost zombie-like. That's when it happened. The ones that were rebooted began to attack their teammates. By the time security got there, all the beta testers were dead. They were mauled to death. They couldn't even identify them by their license. They had to go off of dental records. The next week, the reboot vans came into the game. The only difference they made from the beta test to the real one was they added a time in between reboots. What kind of horrors has Fortnite unleashed? I love sleepovers. They're the best, especially when you can have a LAN party. Everyone was bringing their Xboxes, and Fortnite just launched the Reboot van. Now if we died, we could revive each other. It was going to be a great night. My parents went to bed early and they slept upstairs. We were given the whole first floor to ourselves. I sat up in the living room. One of my friends sat up in the computer room. The other, Jake, sat up in the den. My final friend decided to also set up in the computer room since there wasn't any more rooms on the first floor. After getting some snacks and getting all the Xboxes hooked up to the internet and also the updates, we were ready to play some Fortnite. A storm was coming and it was supposed to be pretty bad. That's why one of my friends was sleeping over, because his parents were out of town and they didn't want him alone in case the storm got out of hand. My parents let me invite my other two friends for a complete LAN experience. After a few games, the storm rolled in. It was pretty intense. There was a huge burst of light, followed by a loud sound of thunder. Then, the power cut out while we were in mid-game. We were mad. We were doing so well too. The power came back on about a minute later, and our surprise, even though we lost power, we were still in the game. We were all AFK, however, and the storm in the game had covered us. Luckily, we had a launch pad set aside, and we were able to get into the new circle. When we made it to the new circle, there was a team camping it out, waiting for us. They attacked us. We fought back. My one friend Jake, who was in the den, was killed and was thirsted immediately. Me and my other two friends were able to hold our own, and we defeated that squad. We recovered Jake's stuff so that we could take him to the reboot van and revive him. We were in the mountains near Shifty Shavs, so we decided to take him to the reboot van there. At this point, Jake isn't talking. We assumed he's irked that he was the only one who died. When we made it to the reboot van, it wasn't the usual one. This one was red. The noise it made was ominous and in a lower tone. The tires looked like they were made out of bone. It looked like something you would see in a post-apocalyptic world, but not in Fortnite. I made my way to the van and I started the process to respawn him. It took longer than usual. When the respawn was complete, the van didn't make a honking noise. It made a sound and it said something. It all happened so fast that none of us heard it or expected to hear it. When he came back, he never talked to us. We played out the whole game and we ended up in second place. All three of us went down and Jake was the only one left. Jake seemed like he wanted us to lose because he didn't do anything. After the game, I went to the kitchen to grab a snack. I wasn't going to say anything to Jake because, well, I was mad at him. My other two friends came into the kitchen from the computer room. The computer room and the den were connected. They told me they could see that Jake was acting odd. He wasn't moving, and it was as if he was frozen in place. All three of us make our way to the den for a closer look. We see Jake frozen, sitting down, and just staring at the TV. "Jake," we said. No answer. "Jake," No answer still. I decide to shake him lightly to get his attention. When I shake him, he immediately turns around and he lets out this scream. He puts his hands on my throat and proceeds to choke me. We see his eyes. He has no pupils. They're just pure white. My two friends try to restrain him, but he's so strong he's able to take out all three of us at once. Once he beats my two friends to the ground, he proceeds to choke me yet again. He keeps on mumbling something under his breath, almost as if he's in a trance of some sort. I'm about to lose consciousness. I see my dad rush down the stairs and he tackles Jake. He holds him down, and after a few moments, we see his pupils roll back from the inside of his head. He asks us what happened. He has no memory of the last few hours. We decided not to tell his parents or anything. If you see a respawn van and it isn't the usual one, don't revive your teammate. They won't come back the same. It's been months since that incident with Jake and him becoming possessed after getting rebooted. Our friend group grew apart after that. It was just too traumatic. But hey, better now than later. I found a new group of friends and made my peace with the past. These three people loved to play Fortnite just as much as me, and they were probably just as good. Matthew was one of my new friends. He wanted to have me and two others, Elliot and Ed, over to play Fortnite next Saturday. I accepted the offer and the others did as well. We were all geared up for a fun Saturday. The school week flew by and before we knew it, it was Saturday morning. I packed my console and got in my mom's car. On the way there, I thought about the last time I did something like this. That horrible thing happened with Jake. I need to put that fear aside. These are new people and I need to have new experiences. I arrived there and knocked on Matthew's door. Inside was already Ed, and we were now just waiting for Elliot. Matthew showed me around his house. It was just one floor with a basement. The basement was completely redone and looked as good as the floor above. There was a guest bedroom with a nice 32-inch TV inside. Matthew told me to go ahead and set up and that he would text me when Elliot arrived. Shortly after I set up my console and headset, I got a text. Elliot was finally here. I heard the stairs creak leading into the basement. I opened my door in the hallway and I see Elliot and Matthew walking towards me. Elliot was going to be setting up in the room right next to mine. Matthew told both of us that once Elliot was done setting his console up, to come upstairs. Matthew's mom ordered pizza and we were going to eat and then play. After we ate, we all logged into our consoles. We all partied up and at last, our night of fun was to begin. The first few games we warmed up. Come our fifth game, we had our first Battle Royale victory. The next game we won as well. We already had back-to-back wins. The night was still young. I hear Matthew's mother talking to him through his microphone. She says that a severe storm was heading this way and that we might have to go to the basement to take cover. Lucky for me, I was already set up down here. We load into another game and I started to hear what sounded like static. I realized it was raining. Then a loud burst of thunder. Everything went pitch black. Then the power came back on. Matthew's parents had a backup generator and the house was now running off of it. Everyone was shocked that we were still playing. Everyone except me. Don't tell me it's going to happen again. We began to push a team and we found out it was a bad call. Multiple teams joined in and before we knew it, about 6 teams were all build battling and fighting each other near the block. Ed and Matthew go down. They were thirsted in the middle of 2 teams fighting. Elliot and I, during the confusion, were able to survive and outsmart the other teams into fighting. We won out and had a ton of loot. I collected Ed's reboot card and Elliot got Matthew's. We ran to the reboot van near the block and it looked exactly how it looked the first time, before Jake went insane. I tried to tell Elliot to stop rebooting them. I even took off my headset and ran to the room next to me. When I got there, I was too late. It showed them being rebooted. Elliot was wondering why I looked like I was going to faint. The first time it was just one person, Jake, and now there's two of them. I then heard Matthew's parents scream. I heard things drop and glass being broken. There was a fight. Then I hear two different sets of footsteps creaking down the basement stairs. It's them. I look around for anything to defend myself. I find a baseball bat. I see them. They looked like Jake. Their pupils were rolled into the back of their heads. They didn't come back the same. They started to rush us both like zombies. I told Elliot to hide and to call 911. I then took the baseball bat I found and hit both of their legs. They were still trying to kill us, still trying to get up and walk. I didn't want to hurt them anymore. We fell back into my room and we barricaded ourselves in and waited for the police. I hear the police come down the stairs. Matthew and Ed apparently rushed them. The police tased them and knocked them out. This time, people got hurt and Matthew and Ed got arrested. With Elliot and my testimonies, their sentences were reduced. Just what's going on with this reboot van? It's pure chaos and it's following me everywhere I go.
Hey Scary Squad, it's Miss Flip. Be sure to download Dragon City. Find the link in the description box below.